Hey there, and welcome to the Do Life Big podcast. This podcast is going to be your jam if you want to live to your full potential and don't believe in half-assing anything in your life. If we want to do life big, that means we've got to get out of our own way because we only have this one shot to make it awesome. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm a mom of three whose BFF is cold brew, a retired school teacher turned online entrepreneur, and an author. I'm loud, bold, and will always keep it real. I'm determined to live my best freaking life possible, and I'm here to help you do the same. I'll be packing this podcast with tips, motivation, inspiration, and strategies to finally get you where you want to go. And we will have a ton of laughter along the way because, let's be honest, we can't ever take ourselves too seriously, right? I'm so excited you are here with me today. Now let's get this party started. Hey, my friend, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Do Life Big. I am so excited to have you here today. Just a really quick update on my 75 hard challenge that I committed to. Yep, we are still here kicking, rearing, and ready to go day in and day out. And believe it or not, I am currently on day 20 of 75 as I am recording this podcast. And I'm feeling so awesome. My mind has never been more clear, more focused. It is phenomenal. I'm seeing changes in my body. My energy is on point. I'm getting much better sleep, just all around incredible experience. Even though I'm not going to lie, of course, there are those moments where I'm like, God, I really could go for an alcoholic beverage right now. But November 9th will be here before you know it. And I'm so glad that I committed to this challenge. And I really set this challenge for myself because I wanted to do something that I knew would get my mind as crystal clear and as strong as possible. And that means that I was going to be really conscious with filling my mind with all positive, good personal development, growth mindset, really good food, tons of water, no alcohol, not that much caffeine, and it's definitely working. So go me. Definitely been some challenging moments, but it's been worth it. And then one more thing before we dive into the episode, I don't want anyone to miss out on this, but mark October 3rd at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time on your calendar. I only do this a few times a year, and I'm really excited because I'm going to be hosting on that date and at that time my Unleash Your Business Potential training. It's completely free. I will put the link in the show notes. You can go to kathyreuter.com/unleash. And this is for you if you're someone who is either in business right now and you're just not seeing the results that you want to see. You seem to be riding that entrepreneurial revenue roller coaster where it's up, it's down. Maybe you've plateaued. Maybe you've even gone backwards with your income, or you feel like you are just held back and are kind of stuck in your own analysis paralysis with procrastination or perfectionism. We're going to really get to the root of why that's happening. And I'm going to help you rewire your brain for success by teaching you my proven method, the Reframe framework. So I'm really excited about it. If you're someone who is not in business, this will still help you as well too. It's definitely geared more towards entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs, coaches, course creators, network marketers, direct sellers, things like that. Or if you're someone who's like, you know what, I've been kind of thinking about getting into business, and you're someone who wants to hop in and you really want to fast track your success to six figures and beyond, then this training is going to be for you. So just go to kathyreuter.com/unleash. And I am so excited. Spread the word to your friends and I will see you there. Totally free. Don't forget that. And it is an awesome value and it will change the game for not only just your business, but just life in general. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Today's episode is going to be short, sweet, and to the point, and it's all about really giving you the ultimate reframe for your life's challenges. Now, listen, I'm going to teach you how to look at your challenges in a different way because when I do what I'm about to share with you, my business and my life explode. Things get better all around. Everything in my life gets better when I do this. But then when I don't do what I'm about to share with you, things really don't get better for me. And it seems like I'm more of like a victim and that life is happening to me. and I feel like I have no control, and I'm going in this like downward negative spiral when I don't do what I'm going to share with you here. So if we want to shorten the amount of time where we feel overwhelmed or stressed or just any form of pain or suffering, then this episode is really going to help you. So, what if we started to look at anything that was challenging to us and we asked ourselves these two questions? These are the two questions that whenever I can become aware of when I'm actually going through something challenging, whether it's in business or my personal life, relationships, whatever it is, when I remember to ask myself these two questions, things always get better because it challenges me and it reminds me to think of things in a different way. And these two questions that I want you to ask yourself too, whenever you're faced with any kind of challenge, is number one, what is this preparing me for? And number two, what is this trying to teach me? So write those two things down. So we can do this in two different ways. All right. One is we can look back at our life. You can look back at your life. And the other is you can look into your future. So, an example of looking back would be if I looked back at my childhood, for example, there were a lot of times, specifically academically and sports related, where I was made to feel that, you're just not smart enough or you're just not good enough, which I then internalized as I'm not good enough in general. No matter how hard I try at something, it's never going to be enough. And now looking back in hindsight, these things that happened, they weren't necessarily done intentionally to make me feel like I wasn't smart enough or that I wasn't good enough, right? But that's how I interpreted those situations when I was younger. And now that I'm older, looking back, I can see so clearly that the most important thing to realize is that you have to truly believe that you are enough and good enough. You're more than enough. And it's something that no one else can give you. It's something that you have within you and you believe it to be true about yourself. And so it taught me to stop looking to the external circumstances, external meaning people, for validation of I'm smart enough and I'm good enough. And now at that time, I didn't realize that all of these experiences, they were really preparing me to one day become the mindset strategist and coach and podcaster that I am today, to be running a business that focuses on all these kinds of things, but on a much deeper level, so that I can teach you how to rewire your brain for success. And this prepared me to be, the strong-willed, positive person whose strength really is perseverance. It prepared me to have more mental toughness, grit, and to value and love myself more. And so I want you to really look at your best qualities, right? How many of those best qualities that you have right now came from the result of either you going through something yourself, or maybe you watching something happen and then you realize that you didn't want that to be your story, or you didn't want that to be your case, or you did not want to be like that. So, for example, some of you may be really good with money because maybe growing up, your family had a real scarcity mindset around money. Or maybe you came from divorced parents and it led you to be the devoted, faithful spouse, the loving spouse that you are today because you didn't want to go down that path. So, what good came from those challenging times? And now let's take a look at the future. If we look into the future, let's say you're facing maybe some kind of uncertainty in your business right now. You really want it to work, but your income is very inconsistent. Maybe it's even gone backwards. Or maybe you're feeling like you're working so hard and there's barely anything to show for it. You get to choose a meaning to give to that for what's going on. Remember this, we always have choice. And now you can look at it one way and you can think, oh God, this kind of stuff always happens to me. Business is just so hard for me. Why is everything such a struggle? Why is everything such a challenge? No matter what I do, nothing changes. Maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, this is how most people's minds are wired. They're wired to look at what's happening and assign a negative meaning to it or make it mean something negative about themselves. But what I teach in my signature program, the Mindset Accelerator program, is I teach you how to rewire your brain and rewire it for good. And so you don't revert back to your old limited ways of thinking. And so what this person would say is they'd look at what's happening in their business this challenging time, this time of uncertainty, and they'd look at it as just data, just statistics, facts. They'd keep it as a neutral experience, and they'd tweak what needed to be tweaked to improve things, but they would never make it mean anything negative about themselves as the business owner. Because here's the truth, and this phrase will change your life. So write this down because I want you to remember this one. Nothing has meaning except for the meaning that you give to it. And so if you're going to spend all of this time and energy assigning negative meanings to situations that are happening to you, you may as well spend the time and energy creating something positive out of it. Because when you tell yourself these stories, which we're doing all day long, by the way, just on autopilot, whether they're positive or negative stories, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real or not. And whatever stories you create and keep telling yourself on repeat, you just will continue to get more of that, since that's where your focus is. And so if you want this ultimate reframe for challenges in your life, you just have to simply be aware and ask yourself when you're going through this challenging time, what is this preparing me for? And what is this trying to teach me? You get to assign whatever meaning you want to it. So start to be more aware when you're facing challenges, stop and reflect before assigning a negative meaning to it. And remember those two things. What is this preparing me for? And what is this trying to teach me? So that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. If you loved it, please spread the word and share this with a friend or tag me on Instagram at Catherine Reuter. And thank you so much for being here once again. You know I love you and I think you're awesome, and I will see you the next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening in. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me today. You totally rock. Hey, listen, if you loved today's episode, go ahead and tag me on social and go share this with a friend right now. Do it immediately before the day gets ahead of you and you totally forget. Couldn't be more pumped to be on this journey with you guys. Go make today awesome, and I will see you the next time.